guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. My name is Irene
And I'm Rose.
and we are here. Our YouTube channel is all about working in the UK. It's about salvation. We are born again Christians and
Motherhood
as well. We are both mothers, and yeah, that's it. But for today's video, we'll be talking about moving to the UK as a nurse, and we'll start from the beginning. So Rose here is a nurse, so I'll just be asking her a couple of questions, and then she'll answer, and as she answers, then we all get to get information.
Okay.
Please feel free to send in a comment, like, share, subscribe if you're interested in this kind of content.
Yeah.
So Rose, how did you end up doing nursing? Is it something that you were passionate about?
All right. So I would say though, when I started nursing, it's a calling, as they always say, and it's a good profession. I remember my grandmom was quite unwell for some time. For about 2 years, she was bedridden, and she was nursed at home. My mom did everything for her, like changing her beddings, taking care of her, giving her medications, and every time she would do that, my grandma would always tell her, "May God bless you," and that really moved me. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that caring for somebody would like earn you blessings. And from that point, I was like, it's so nice to look after sick people who are not able to care for themselves. Actually, that was the motivation for me, I would say.
Oh,
Yeah.
Really, that's good to hear how it all started. And so, did you go to? For context, we are both from Kenya. So, did you go to KMTC, or how did you do
All
your
right.
nursing? Yeah.
So when I finished my form for, like, when I did my KCPE, I got my results. I got my results, and I applied for KMTC. I did my nursing in KMTC, and then graduated. When I graduated, and then I applied for an upgrade course in the university. But before I did my nursing course in the university, I already started practicing as a nurse at the diploma level. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe just to ask, nowadays we have so many schools that are offering nursing courses,
Yeah.
nurse aid, nurse assistant, healthcare assistant. Like, could you maybe tell us the difference between a healthcare assistant, nurse aid? I don't know if there's a difference, and maybe a nurse, and then maybe a midwife, because they always sound like different people.
Yeah, that's an interesting topic. Actually, many people are really not sure what a nurse is and the difference between a nurse and a nurse associate, because more likely the same, we do the same things, but the only difference is the scope of practice. Like when you work as a nurse, nursing is regulated by a nursing body, and you've got like a registration number, and if you have a registration number, that means that you are responsible you're responsible at that level of your training. So for a nurse, you have to go to an institution for training. Let's say, for instance, there are different levels of nursing training. There's the certificate level, there's diploma level, degree level. And for you to say that you are a qualified nurse, it's after you have finished with your institution, you have to do an exam with your registration body. For this case, I'll talk about Kenya. Kenya nursing is regulated by Nursing Council of Kenya. So until you're registered by the Nursing Council, you're not registered by the Nursing Council of Kenya, you're not supposed to practice as a nurse. Yeah, but for nurse aid, I would say there is no regulating body. It's just an institution that they provide care courses. Like they'll teach you how to look after the sick, help the nursing. Like you can do really the deep tasks like medication administration. It's more of caring for sick people. Yeah, that's the difference.
Okay, I think that's very profound. And so maybe do we have differences between? I know we'll get into how you practice as a nurse in the UK, but do we have like differences in terms of who's a pediatric nurse, who's a midwife, or general, just being a general nurse?
All right, so I would say in Kenya, depending with where you practice, but in this context, we're talking about Kenya. When you're a nurse in Kenya, and for instance, I'll talk about my scenario where I started with nursing at diploma level. when you do a diploma in nursing, you're doing nursing that's both pediatric. It's called KRCHN, which means Kenya Registered Community Health Nurse. You work as a pediatric nurse, you can work as an adult nurse, you can work as a midwife, or you can work as a psychiatric nurse, and also in the community. So it's a general kind of thing. I know different countries practice it like a speciality, but when you do a diploma in nursing in Kenya, you can work in either of the fields that I just mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you become sort of like a general nurse.
A general nurse,
Yeah, so it's not... Okay. I think so you need to be registered, and say in Kenya, NCK, like make sure that you register in the Nursing Council of Kenya for you to actually say that you are a nurse. Yeah. Now if you have intentions or interest to move to the UK, where do you start?
All right, so interesting topic there. When you want to relocate abroad, it's always a question of why do I want to relocate? Where am I relocating to? And in this situation, I relocated from Kenya and came to the UK. So when I came to the UK, before you make that decision, make sure that you check on your pros and cons and what's your motivating factor. Why do you want to move to the UK? And so I had a number of factors, but I'll not discuss about the factors in this video. So directly here, what we did, you have to create an NMC account. NMC means the Nursing and Midwifery Council. That is the regulating body of nursing in the UK. Okay. So that's your first step. You have to have an NMC account. Yeah.
So you start from your NCK, which is like the Nursing Council of Kenya. You ensure you're a registered nurse, and now you move to the NMC, which is the
Nursing and Midwifery Council.
Nursing and Midwifery Council. And then after that, what do you do?
So once you create an account, it's just a simple step. You go online, go to your Google, enter NMC registration, and then it brings you up. It asks you several questions like, are you trained outside the UK or inside the UK? But in our scenario, it's definitely outside the UK. So you click on that button, you create logins, and then once you have your own logins, it will ask you for a couple of questions before you can get to register with them. They'll ask you to be verification that you've been practicing or you're registered in the country that you trained in. So that's where the NMC of NCK comes in. You have to send them a registration form, and then when you fill in that form, you have to pay a certain amount of fee, which will be sending to Nursing Council of Kenya.
Maybe could you disclose the fee just for budgeting purpose?
All right, so I would say it varies, but at that point it was 12,000 when I did my registration about 3 years back. Okay. That was in 2021. It was 12,000 Kenyan shillings, whereby 7,000 is for applying for out-migration, because you're now a nurse in Kenya, but you want to out-migrate. And then 5,000 is because I only had one certificate at that time, which is the diploma. KRCHN. So if you've got like 3 certificates that needs verifying, you've got your diploma, you've got your degree, your master's. So for every cadre, you've got 5,000. So I only had one at that point. So that's just 12,000 for me. But if by then, when I was starting my registration, I had not finished my degree. If I had finished my degree by that time, I would have paid plus 5,000. So I would have paid 17,000 by the time.